You're listening to the Hunt Stealth Podcast with Ryan Uffens, the podcast where we dive headfirst into the wild. Whether you're an aspiring hunter or an adventurer seeking the untamed, together we'll explore the strategies and stories that lead to success in the great outdoors.
Okay, so this podcast has been a long time coming. We're sitting down today with my good buddy Seth, aka Doc Andersen, who was born in the great state of Idaho.
And I was the second stringer today too. Tell him that.
Seth is definitely coming in clutch for me today. We had a couple podcasts scheduled, and it's been a rough week for people to keep their commitments. But Doc is a guy you can call on an audible, and he will come through clutch. So, Doc, thanks for being here, brother.
Yes, appreciate you.
So, little background: Doc and I have known each other a long freaking time, man. We've been pushing each other's buttons for decades now.
Oh my God.
Isn't that right?
Hell yeah.
So, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can see that there's a resemblance to one Sylvester Stallone. I'm glad to see that you actually have a poster of him up behind you. Rocky is your daddy.
Oh yeah, right there. You got it. Nobody's gonna get hit as hard as life, brother.
So
that one off. There we are.
What are you doing?
Just adjusting it. So it's
right.
gonna be okay. The Lord is still with me.
I know the Lord's with you. He's with both of us. We're gonna need him tonight to get through this. But
all right, ADHD Nation, what's going on, bro?
So we're sitting down with Seth. Seth is an entrepreneur. I remember one of your first forays into the business world was needit.org. Why don't you tell the folks what that thing was?
You and I and Brother Bahadur actually are going to come out with an energy drink.
Brother B, that's right. Need an energy drink.
Yeah.
I forgot about the energy drink part. Holy dude, it's been a long freaking time, man.
Oh yeah. Yep. Back in the days when Tracy was flipping us off right there in the freaking aisles. And now look at you running a podcast. Holy son of a bitch diver. Look at that beard. Gosh damn it. Look at you. Yeah. Everybody's watching this. Look at that beard.
Well, it took me a long time to grow it, but it's come in okay now.
Jim Bridger are having contests.
What's that?
I said you and Jim Bridger are having contests, bro.
Brother Jedediah. Anyway, so hold on. Tell people about Need It. That was funny. That was like
that is true.
That well, I mean, we don't have to dig into that, but man, Seth has done just about everything. He's got a couple things that he's working on right now. Strut Snacks. Yep. We're gonna have to talk about Strut Snacks, but dude, Strut Snacks. Seth has a book that's coming out for kids pretty soon. It's going to be the Need It of the children's book world. Excited to talk about that. I'm going to get a firsthand glimpse at it here at the end of this podcast. We're going to stick around.
Dude, yeah,
big
even
time
adults, bro. Best children's book on planet Earth. It's coming. It's getting illustrated right now.
And for those of you that are just listening, you could probably picking this up. Seth does not lack for confidence.
You mind if I just need to do it, bro. I just need to finish up real quick. So the viewers are going to have to deal with the ADHD for a second. But talk to me because I have the headphones in. I just got to do a couple sets over here.
All right, go ahead.
You keep talking, though, bro.
I may just edit this out. But anyway, so Seth, while you're over there doing whatever it is that you're doing,
yeah, you can still talk to me, brother. Come on now.
I know. Dude, I'm having a hard time focusing. I'm going to be honest. Not being able to see your pretty face. It's making it a little bit hard to...
How about I freaking start then?
Okay, hold on a second. Hang on a second. Hold on a second. I know one thing I want to talk about. So, Seth... oh, man. I have so many memories, things that we've done with you. We set you up with a neighbor who had some kids.
Temple.
Yeah, we're not talking about her anymore.
Oh,
but dude, let's talk a minute about when you were on the TV series Eliminate.
Let's talk.
Tell the audience about it, brother. Let's hear it. This is your chance to clear the record on everything that happened on that show.
My chance to clear the record. I mean, shit, if they can find it on YouTube now anyway, I've tried to find the damn thing a bazillion times. I mean, in a nutshell, essentially, I should have won. They kept editing everything I was doing. Reality TV is not reality TV. I tell you that right now. But there's really not anything to clear the air with besides.
Well, tell me about the experience. Did you have fun?
They gave me $100.
$100. Walk everybody through. Hey, I'm going to slow down for a second. Walk everybody through the process. They gave you $100 to come on.
How about you do this? You ask questions though. You ask me specific questions instead of me randomly just yapping my mouth off. Because then I'm telling you. Tell me about the process. How you got onto the show. What happened. What they were doing. So let me tell you how I got onto the show. All right. Yeah. So I was at the gym. It was at Excel over in Cottonwood Heights, and I believe I was 25 or 26 because it was right after I started working with you at Advanta. But anyway. Somebody that I hadn't seen for years comes up and taps me on the shoulder, and he's like, "Doc, I haven't seen you forever. What's up, man?" And I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" His name is Steve Espinosa. And we start shooting the breeze and everything, and he's like, "Dude, we talk about what we're doing now, yada, yada, yada." And he was like, "Bro, I'm an agent for a modeling agency." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And it was that one. Remember that one that was over by Dimitri's, over in Cottonwood Heights, honestly, just north of Excel. Anyway, it was that modeling agency over there. So
yeah, they kept calling me all the time, Seth. They were constantly just.
It's because of that damn beard, bro. They were like, "What the hell?" Actually, back then you could not grow that shit like you could now. But anyway, we started shooting the shit, and he's like, "Dude, your personality is like perfect for this show that I'm helping with right now." And I was like, "Okay." He was recruiting for it. And anyway, he's like, "Have you heard of Eliminate?" I'm like, "Come on, man. Who hasn't heard of Eliminate, bro?" I mean, in our early 20s, Eliminate was the show. It was fun. That one, The Fifth Wheel. Remember a couple of those ones? There was that one where the parents would choose to break her up with the. Anyway, there was a bunch of that shit back then. So he's like, "Dude, if you come in, I can rush you up to the front of the line." And he was like, "I think you're going to knock their socks off. You'll be on the show." And I was like, "Well, let's do it." So I meet him. I meet him on the specified date. He rushes me to the front of the line, and I get into the interview. And as I'm interviewing with the guy, we're just bullshitting and saying things. Maybe 5 minutes into it, this guy looks at me, and he's like, "Now, this is back then. I mean, I'm a little more mature now, but he looks at me, and he's like, 'You are the cockiest guy that I have interviewed the entire time for this show.' And he was like, 'I want you on the show.' And that was it. And I was like, "Well, done." But the problem is they had me do, well, ask me more questions if you want. I'll tell you some of the
Go on.
things.
No, dude, the floor is yours, brother. Just let it rip.
Well, here was the problem. They wanted me to be one of the four guys, and I kept telling them, and you worked with me long enough to know, I need to be the one running the show. I need to be the one with the four women. I need to be the one riling people up. And they kept telling me, they were like, "Well, we want you to be one of the four because you'll piss some of the guys off." And I was like, "Okay, if you guys let me," and I said to him, because I debated with him, and I was like, "You need to let me be the one that's picking the four girls. I promise the show's going to be better if that's the case." Anyway, they convinced me to be one of the four guys. They're like, "Dude, just trust us." And I was like, "You've got to let me be free, though." This is my first time I'd ever done reality TV. Bro,
it's the same thing that you said to me before we started recording this podcast. You're like, "Bro, you got to let me be me."
Yeah, dude, like that damn raccoon on Guardians of the Galaxy. Just let me do the damn thing. I don't need the stipulations and the bullshit. Just watch what happens and have faith. But anyway, at the end of the day, dude, I get on the damn show, and it was all bullshit what they said. Literally every 5 minutes, cut. They were like, "You can't do that, Seth. You can't do that, Seth." The show took, dude, literally just at the Porcupine Grill. It was supposed to be a 20-minute segment. It took like 2 hours because they kept cutting me. And I just kept throwing my hands up like, you guys told me I could be real. You're not. It's not real. This isn't reality. And then the producers cut the whole show off, and he came and had this one-on-one talk with me for 5 minutes, and everybody's just getting loaded. The chick's getting loaded. All the guys are getting loaded. I was the only one not drinking. And anyway, at the end of the day, he's like, brother, listen to me. Well, he didn't say brother. I was the one saying brother, but he said, hey, look, listen to me. He was like, it's real, but it's directed reality. And I was like, but that's not reality. This is silly and stupid. So anyway, we kept going, and I did the best I could. They kept cutting it, and then finally, when we got to we were doing something with like waxing or something in one of the later rounds, and when we got to that point, my buddy who was an agent, he comes to me and says, "Hey, the girl likes you a lot, and she wants to pick you." He's like, "I'm not supposed to be telling you this, but the girl, she wants you." But the producers are putting a ton of pressure on her, saying, "You got to get this guy the hell out of here because he's a headache." And he was like, "So at the end of the day, you got to start to like give a little bit here." And I was like, "Dude, I don't give a rat's ass about going out with this girl. I'll get her number. They can freaking get loaded with her, and we'll be going out tomorrow anyway. So it doesn't matter." So at the end of the day, essentially, it keeps going down like that. They keep having to cut things, and they're like, "Seth." And I'm like, "Dude, I can't do this type of reality TV. I can't do." So anyway, the girl, when she cuts me, I stand up from our little activity, and she puts her arm around me, and she's like, they do that little spiel like, "I have to cut," and she just like put her head down, and she was like, "I don't want to do this though. I really don't." And I was like, "I know what you're going to say, and you don't have to." And I was like, "Don't let these guys pressure you. We can walk off into the sunset." And she just put her head down. She's like, "Well," and she looks over at the producer, and he's like giving her the eyes. And she was like, "Well, I have to cut you, Seth." And I was like, "It's all right. Let's just go out later." And I just picked her up and gave her a hug, and then just flexed for the camera and pretty much said sayonara.
I remember the
that
flex.
was
I remember the flex. I remember watching that.
I mean, I was a lot more ripped back then. I'm a little older now, but so that's kind of how that thing went down. And then I'm
a lot more ripped now, Seth.
What was that?
I said, and I'm a lot more ripped now than I was back then.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I appreciate
that.
I was fishing for a compliment from you. You don't give them out very easy.
You're a diamond, brother. I've given you 73 compliments on your damn beard in like 15 seconds.
I appreciate it. Don't make it weird anymore. Just stop it. Quit talking about my beard. You're going to make me blush.
That's all right, bro. I mean, nowadays you can swing whatever way you want, right? So, hey.
No, that's not true. No, don't turn this into a political podcast. You're going to make Jackson's going to get nervous when he starts listening to this thing.
You don't want me to do the woke bullshit on this thing?
Yeah, no, I don't do the woke bullshit. You know that. But, hey, okay. So did you ever end up going on a date with her after?
I was actually thinking about that right now. I think I did. I think we ended up making out, but there was just when you're younger, I'm almost positive we did, but don't quote me on it. It's safer to say that I did, though. To be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that wouldn't surprise me.
We exchanged numbers, and she did. Like we were vibing a little bit. It was kind of tough though, because everybody was just hammered, man. Like it was just way too easy to just shred on these guys. And I think that was the problem, is I was the only one not drinking, and these guys were just getting lit. And so I was just shredding these. I mean, in 30 minutes, the game was over. And so the producers were like, "Well, shit, what are we supposed to do now?" And I was like, "I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't take dumbasses to Porcupine Grill and just get them lit. You guys brought me on and told me to ruffle feathers. Now I'm here, and you're saying you're cutting me out every 2 seconds."
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they knew what they were getting themselves into, Doc. And they said, "I want you to ruffle feathers." They didn't realize what they were unleashing on these other fellas and this poor young innocent woman.
Well, I don't know how innocent she was, bro. They were all lit, but she was hot though. Yeah, at the end of the day, bro, just reality TV is not reality TV. That was my very first experience with media's bunch of bullshit. And very few times Do people not have an agenda? Just reality TV is not reality TV. And especially now, that was clear back in like 2005, bro. So
20 years ago.
Yeah. So that was like right after the Real World and all that. I think the Real World
Facebook had just come out. Like Facebook had just started to become a thing. I mean, it was like, it was when all this whole new reality TV thing was just kind of starting to take root.
Yeah. And it seems like it was a little bit more before that. Like when you watch The Real World back in 1999, the very first episode, I mean, they were letting a lot of stuff fly, bro. Like it was like
you would have been great on that.
100%, bro. And that's what I thought it was going to be like. And it was like, nah, man, this is definitely not like that. Seriously, bro. I got freaking shushed and cut so many damn times. Anyway.
All right. Well, on that topic, hey, let's pivot and let's talk a little bit of hunting. So your farm time, you grew up in Burley, Idaho.
Yeah, you have an agenda. Good job.
Do I? Yes, this is a hunting podcast, Doc.
You see how you just transitioned that? You're like, wait a minute. Let me just smoothly move you with me. Doc, I need you to work with me. Follow me, brother. You think that's what Amjad and Talmadge were saying when they were on that river when it was snowing on us?
I forgot about that.
Dude, I talked to freaking El Capitan just like 3 weeks ago. He said he still is telling stories about it like every month. He's like, dude, I thought I was going to die that day, bro.
Talmadge?
No, freaking Captain. Afridi.
Amjad.
Yeah.
Amjad. Yeah. Dude, yeah. That dude.
Dude, he was bowing to the east 72 times, praying to Allah with all his might, dude.
Dude, so, okay, one of my first, here, I'm going to shift gears for us, okay? And yes, I don't necessarily have an agenda, but I do have an agenda.
Oh, yeah. Talk to me about some hunting stuff. That's cool.
So let me just tell you this, since you brought up Talmadge and Amjad, but one of the first times I had ever gone out duck hunting, I went out with Talmadge. Do you remember that?
Yes, dude.
And so it was actually, we were out in Farmington Bay. I had never been duck hunting before. And so we meet up early and we go out as a Saturday morning. And Talmadge drove out because it was, I mean, where I live, I think I was actually in Farmington. I lived in Farmington at the time. So it was like a 5-minute drive to Farmington Bay. Well, we meet him over there and dude, it was just like foggy and cold and you couldn't see anything. And Talmadge and I are out there and I wasn't hunting. I was just kind of along for the ride on this. And he's like, I got a goose tag. And he's like, we need to look for the long black neck. And you could hear geese honking, right? And we're sitting there and he's like, you got to watch and shoot. Well, we can see something flying in like in the fog, right? And you hear the honking and he's like, I'm going to shoot. I'm like, don't shoot. I'm like, I can't tell what it is. He's like, I'm going to shoot. I'm like, Talmadge, don't shoot. I can't tell what it is. He's like, I'm going to shoot. And I'm like, I think it has a white head. I'm like, don't shoot. And he was like, he wanted to shoot so bad. Well, anyway, this thing finally comes over the top of us. It was a bald eagle. And he's like, I'm so glad I didn't shoot. He's like,
dude,
that would have been
crazy
bad.
That he did all these years, dude. I actually thought he did shoot it until a couple years ago.
No.
When you told me. I thought that and I was like, dude. So, in regards to that, I won't go into, like, obviously any specifics, but I have shot things accidentally that didn't need to be shot.
Okay. So, have you ever been turkey hunting, Seth?
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about turkey. How long have you been turkey hunting?
Cal, it's such a low maintenance hunt, man. Duck hunting and turkey hunting, unless you have a crew, right? Unless you have a crew that you're going to go with big game, you got to be a real die-hard hunter if you're going to do that shit by yourself. Like my buddy that I was telling you about, like Blake. I mean, he'll go down in Spanish Fork all by himself, stay up there for a few days, get away from everything, shoot a damn elk, gut it all by himself, record it, come back home. I'm not that hardcore. So I've done quite a bit more bird hunting just because it's so damn low maintenance. It's fun too. I mean,
you're much more of a soft core hunter for sure.
Soft core. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I'm an R-rated version. I'm not the X version. I'm not like
So
showgirls.
anyway, so you've been out. You like going out turkey hunting. I know we
Oh
were
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
coordinate a
yeah.
couple times. We haven't been able to connect, but we're gonna have to make it happen this year.
Yeah, dude, it's actually pretty good out past Tooele out there. I mean,
Yeah.
there's quite a few freaking birds out there. I didn't even know until 4 years ago that they even did that shit. You didn't even know when I called you up either. I think I didn't even, honestly, I
Well,
don't even know if. So my buddy just
okay.
calls me up, and I go out there with him. I mean, that guy though, shit, man, he wants to start at effing 3:30 in the morning, and then just sit our asses there. And I'm like, bro, dude,
Do not need it.
I'm just gonna tell you this, my humble opinion. You don't need to get your ass there at 3:30. We saw people rolling up at 6 o'clock, shooting effing turkeys, bro. And I'm like, dude, I get you want the ambiance of all this shit, but it's an hour drive from me. So I ended up staying the night at his house a couple times. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
crashing with your freaking family, dude. So open up a spare bedroom so I'm not driving out an hour.
Yeah.
That was good. Took a bath at his house, told his freaking family to close their eyes, and everything was fine.
Good. But so, did anything happen on any of those turkey hunts
I mean, there are a lot of
that
things.
you could talk about? That I mean, I don't want to incriminate you.
Because, well, all I can tell you is that.
Are you looking over your shoulder? Like, are you thinking like the DWR is going to come breaking in right now and take you down?
There's a little hole in my blinds right here. I'm just making sure they're not like watching me.
No, they're listening. They're not watching.
Shit, everything's listened to nowadays. Maybe Trump will give me a medal for being honest. Yeah, no, but with turkey hunting, one thing, this is what I will say though, is like, okay, so we had you put together these things called party pits. So you'll get all the decoys, right? You'll get I don't know. I mean, we had a big ass one. I took all mine and all his, and I had this idea. I was like, we're gonna just make a big ass party pit, and we're gonna freaking get them to come in today. So you get like 10 of the hens, then you get a couple roosters or a couple toms, and at the end of the day, the other toms, the real toms, are looking down and they're like, no, not today. That's a party. We're gonna freaking go fight the other toms off. We're gonna get there. But essentially, a lot of people, I mean, any turkey hunter knows this. I didn't know this until, even when I turkey hunted before, I hadn't really experienced this, because up in Idaho, there's so many of them, you don't have to hide and stuff. I mean, you'll just find them in up in Caribou County. Seriously, within an hour, you can get 2 or 3 of them. You'll just find them on the edges, right there where the fields go into the mountains.
Yeah.
And anyway, but
they're all over right now. Jackson and I, not to interrupt your story, but we were up chasing some mountain lions this weekend, just out here up Farmington Canyon and that, and we're looking for sheds, but we came across some turkeys up there. So yeah.
Did they? Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, they still have, what is it? About a month and a half. I think May in Utah is when it starts to ramp up. So they're pretty smart. I mean, they'll probably wise up a little bit.
Just saying, like, they're everywhere. There's a lot more of them, I think, than people realize.
Yeah, for sure. And there's just not as many people. I mean, there's 100 people in Niter, so they feel pretty safe. But anyway, at the end of the day, if you're not in an area like that, they're roosting up in the trees, bro. The toms are up in the trees, literally right above you. You don't even know it, man. Like, they are right above you, 10 feet above you, quiet as a freaking church mouse. But anyway, these party pits draw in, all I will say is they draw in a lot more birds of prey. And birds of prey are big, just like a tom. Birds of prey also will swoop up on the top of a tree and stare down at the freaking party pit like a tom. And big wingspan, like all this type of stuff. And so essentially sometimes you just, and especially going this early, bro, when you're shooting at 5:45, it's kind of tough when you're taking a 50, 60, 70-yard shot. It's tough to see what the hell it actually is. But at the end of the day, you don't want to wait and hesitate all day. Like the 2 people I went with, one of them was, I mean, he's an experienced turkey hunter. People kept hesitating with shit. And I was just tired of I'm like, dude, take the damn shot, bro. I felt like I was in Top Gun. I'm like, shoot, bro. Right, dude. Like, what the hell? Are we going to pray about this and fast for 14 years?
Well, they
So
do.
anyway,
One thing they do teach you in hunter safety, Seth, is to make sure that you have eyes on the target and you know what you're shooting at.
that's true. But my gosh, when you're staring at it for 72 years, and I'm not going to disagree with you, especially in lieu of what you're pushing buttons about. However, that was more due to 5:45 in the morning. These two guys I was with literally had let probably 4 or 5 turkeys go by, and I'm talking 30-yard shots. And I was like, dude, next time we're not dicking around. I'm not going to wait. If it's a 50-yard shot, I'm taking it. You guys can do whatever the hell you need to do. It's just best to wait till 6 in the morning, brother. I'm not going to lie. Just that. Just take my word for it. You don't need to get out there at 4 in the morning. You just don't.
Well, I believed you like from the get go with all of that, but yeah, wait. If you wait till 6 in the morning and maybe there's a little bit more light, maybe see a little bit better what you're shooting at. You.
I mean,
just for clarification, you did not shoot another person.
Not shoot another person at all. Did not shoot any bald eagles or any types of eagles. No. And I have shot a couple turkeys, yes. And they, you know, another thing about turkey. Have you eaten wild turkey before?
I've never had wild turkey. No.
Oh, dude, it is like 17,000 times better than store-bought turkey.
Really?
It literally almost falls apart in your mouth when you grill it. It is insane. It literally is different. I mean, there's some chicken that you can, raise on your own and have it be organic and stuff that tastes real good. Honestly, even just as good as like sage or grouse or pheasants or anything. But I'm telling you, man, wild turkey compared to farm raised, brother, there's a difference. I mean, it's like the difference between farm raised salmon and wild caught salmon. That's the difference between wild turkey and store bought. It tastes damn good, brother. Big time.
Well, good. Let's get some this year, and we'll cook some up. We'll have Jackson come out. We'll let Jackson shoot at him, and he's got his new camera set up. He'll record the whole thing. We'll have another.
He's looking pretty savvy in those pictures.
He's looking pretty good. Yeah.
Dude, your boy looks like he's in 912th heaven, man.
He big time needs it. Yeah. He really enjoys that. Like he loves like the filmmaking side of this. I mean, we didn't originally set out when we started this. We weren't thinking we were going to, film and do all that stuff because we haven't shot shit yet. But we're working on getting there. And like I tell everyone, like I've learned so much from having done this podcast and talking with guys that are, I mean, they're professionals and then they're just guys that just absolutely love hunting. And it's what they do. It's their passion. I've learned so much that, I feel confident we're going to get it. And he's always enjoyed like the photography and the filmmaking side of things. And he's gotten really good at editing, graphic design, stuff like that. So yeah, we could have a reality session out on a turkey hunt with Doc.
Dude.
And Jackson, he's not going to tell you to hold back. It's probably going to be me. I'll just be like, Jax.
Dude, I'll just save us all. We'll get there at 6. I will save everybody that... Bro, the toms don't even come out of the damn trees until probably 6:15. So at the end of the day, I'm telling you, he getting there at 4 o'clock and just sitting on your ass, it's just part of the ambiance. After I went a few times with him, I realized I was like, this is just your thing. Most people that, he is a turkey hunter. That's what he is. You know how you have these big game guys, they do their thing. When they're hunting the elk, they have a system.
I love getting up 5 a.m., getting out in my spot.
And doesn't matter if it
watching the little squirrels run around and all that fun stuff.
100%.
Yeah. So again, the difference between hardcore and softcore hunters, right?
Oh man, I want to eat the food, bro. I want to shoot the animal, say a prayer for it. I respect it. You're awesome. I will see you in the next life, brother. And you taste good, and I'm happy, and let's just take care of business. So, yeah. I mean, it is pretty fun. Like, gutting and stuff like that can be pretty fun, but at the end of the day, it's just and I think maybe if you have the right crew also. I think the right crew is, if you're all homies and there's a little bit of button pushing, you got to remember I have ADHD. So, if it's too boring and too corporate...
I know you don't. I know you need to be able to pivot, and also as you are aware, I have ADHD.
Yes, you do.
Which leads me to move us
That's
on
why
to
you were dumping the pens out.
Dude, we almost like threw fists on the floor as adults.
That was fun, dude.
So a little, as you can tell, Seth and I like to push buttons. It's gone from button pushing to now we are kind of homies that just have like a good time. And we've
I
stayed
was your
friends.
homie back then too.
I know that we were, but there's also times where, you know, you being a single guy, me being a married guy, stressed out of my freaking life with like little babies at home. Like
true.
you would come and you would poke the freaking bear. And I was having a rough day. Dude, hey, here's the other thing that people don't realize. Where we were working, what we were doing, if you remember, we were working many times 7 days a week.
Oh, I remember
we would
that
work
bullshit.
like 40 hours during the week, and then we'd go in Saturday, Sunday as well.
Yeah,
and
bro.
so I think it was a Sunday. We're sitting there, and I was giving you a hard time. You were giving me a hard time, and I have OCD. I have things in their places and don't like them touched. And you got up in my face and reached over and grabbed my little mugs of pens and pencils and dumped it out. And I said, pick it up. And you're like, I'm not going to pick it up. And we both stood up, chest to chest. And El Capitan comes over. He's like, you two in the conference room now.
Oh, that was freaking funny.
We were early 20s, like 21, maybe 23.
Are you my age? How old are you right now? I'm 45.
I'm 45.
I think we were 24. Yeah, 24. I think I was 23 or 24. So it was. We were young, bro.
But we were pretty immature too.
Man, I'm still immature. That's not going to go away, bro.
Well,
you gotta live life, brother. You are too, bro. You're mature
in
ways you need to provide, do the things. By the way, you're doing a good job with this. You're good at the podcast, man. I'm proud of you. This is pretty cool.
Well, that's kind of you to say. I appreciate that. I really enjoy doing it. It's been a lot of fun, and
you have a good voice for it too. It's good.
Well,
brother,
thank you.
I'm proud of you, man. Excellent work, dude.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
Both feet are out of the tub. I mean,
well, Bulldog, you have to let Bulldog know I'm fully out of the bathtub now. El Biol. Holy cow. But no, I appreciate the kind words. I really do enjoy the podcast. It's a lot of fun. I don't know that I have a voice for it, but yeah, when I listen to myself, I'm like, ugh. But that's kind of you to say. So thank you. And you have a personality to have your own podcast.
Well, thank you, brother.
But,
we're actually working on a couple things that you would love to be involved with too. I won't name the names right now because we don't have patents on it yet. But there's a couple things we're working on that are going to just be a blast, man. So they're just going to be just hellaciously fun. And all I can tell you is the world is about to start believing in themselves a hell of a lot more, man. And we need a lot of that right now. You know, it's just. At the end of the day, I won't go into too many details. This is your podcast, but man, I couldn't be more stoked on life than I am right now.
But excited to hear a little bit more about it when you can talk about it. So can we talk about your Strut Snacks? Because, bro, I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
You've been promising.
You know what I did? I actually just Bo Diz. I just met her the director. I was like, you know what? So for me, I just realized, like, I finally just kind of put everything together and directionally for me, what my vibe is, what my path is, how I want to go about things, pretty much what I believe I'm meant to do. And at the end of the day, the Strut Snacks, yeah, I like to eat healthy. I like to be healthy. I like to work out, all those things, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health, all that shit. I love it all. At the end of the day, though, the Strut Snacks, the product itself, right? The food, yes, it's amazing. Yes, it's protein dough and it's really good. And you're having a bad day, you can eat something healthy with some sugar-free ice cream or whatever. And
hold on a second. Is it still available? Can people order it?
They can, but really quick, I want to finish this up, brother, real quick. So at the end of the day,
go ahead.
For me, behind the strut, the point of the Strut Snacks is everybody finding their strut. And what that means is believing in yourself, right? I don't care if you're an artist, if you're an athlete, whatever the hell you are, whatever your path is, believe in yourself, find your path, and that's your strut. And the Strut Snacks came from when I was walking into Smith's over on 2000 East and about 9400 South over there. And they have that camera. And when I was walking in, man, I didn't notice I have a pretty decent strut when I'm walking. And I looked at the camera and I was like, holy shit. I started laughing and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, you don't see yourself walk. So I noticed that and I was like,
I could have told you that a long time ago, Doc. You got a strut.
And it just hit me. And I was like, Strut Snacks. But what I'm trying to tell you though is my passion is getting people to believe in themselves. That's my passion. And so at the end of the day, that's what's behind the struts. And so what I ended up doing is, what I mean by that is, I've told you many times, like, I don't want people to order a bunch right now because I don't want to bake and I don't want to do this and that. Some of that has to do with if you're kind of in the mundane role of your, 9-to-5 job. When you come home, this is fun, but baking all night, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not that fun, bro.
Don't need it. Do not need it.
No. So what I did is I have a director now, and just barely like last week, she's just going to take it over. And actually the money she makes on it, the first however many thousands of dollars that it takes to pay off her daughter's mission, I'm just going to donate it to her. And anyway, yeah, so she's going to take it over and be the director, and she's coming up with some creative ideas, and yeah, that'll start going as well. But this is more my passion. Go ahead.
I know. And when we've talked about this before, like at length, you have an eclectic background with some of the things that you've done, but you always have been like an inspiration, and you push people to be their best, even though you haven't always been in like leadership positions. Like I saw, I mean, like you said, you always thought you were going to be number one at Advanta until I came along. And, but like you gave me, when we were doing what we were doing, like that was the target. Like you had a target on your back and I was coming for you, and it elevated everything that everybody was doing. So I think it's good to have people in your life that are constantly.
You want me to go get the stats, by the way? I actually printed them off.
I believe that you did. I believe that. I never beat you. I will admit it now. Okay. This is the first time I'm admitting it that I've never beat you. But I got close a couple times. I
mean, at the end of the day, bro, you are accurate, and
I know I'm accurate.
I think you're more this way now also than you were back then. I think it was always in you. When you were younger, you were more kind of hierarchy based, and now you're not as much. Whereas with me, I'm just like.
Remember what you called me? Remember what you called me back then?
Yeah, baby soup, bro.
Baby soup. I had lots of nicknames. You called me baby soup. You called me AB.
Now
remember what you called AB? What AB stood for? All business.
No.
You said all business. Yeah. AB. Oh, here comes AB. No, I was trying to play the corporate game. I thought that's what I wanted to do.
But at the end of the day, you had a family and kids and stuff like that too. And I know you were trying to like make more money for your family and kids as well. So
right.
But I will tell you, like, to me, titles don't mean shit. Character means something. I don't give a rat's ass to somebody. I'm not a respecter of persons. I don't care if you're the president of the United States or a bum on the street. Everybody's the same to me. What you bring to the table, what you say to me, if it impacts me, and if it's going to push me in a progressively positive space moving forward, fantastic. Let's go. And so you are right. Like at the end of the day, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. And look, man, I really do believe I can do anything I put my mind to. Like I 100% believe that. The ADHD presents some challenges because if I don't like it, it's a little bit more difficult. But what I found out is there's a lot of ways to go about putting puzzle pieces together and moving in a direction towards what we want. If we learn how to do that. And so, yeah, I mean, you'll like this too. I don't think I've ever told you this, but even at the company that I'm working at right now, I'm actually the only manager there that has never lost even one time in head-to-head competition in any site, anywhere in the country, not one time. And it ended up being, I took over like one full department. And then we just, our bonuses and stuff, we had to compete with ourselves. And so at the end of the day, then there were a couple times we missed because we had to like roll over. And it's not like an ego thing. It's just, because I remember at Discover Card, even this kid, smart kid, I remember something that he did, and this was a good lesson for me. I took down the guy that was number one for a couple of years running, and I felt like I was little Lord Fauntleroy walking around, 22 years old, and his humble kid, Kevin was his name, man. And I was about to get transferred to the charge-off department, or back end. I can't remember if it was charge-off or pre-charge-off, but anyway. He comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, you're the number one guy." And he's like, "Do you mind if I sit with you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely. Come sit with me." And he asked a lot of questions, super humble. He wasn't flattering me, but he gave me compliments, paid attention. Man, I kid you not. I decided to like listen to him one time. The next month, which was ironically enough, my last month there, son of a bitch, he told me he was going to beat me. I've heard that so many times. I was like, nah, it's not going to happen. I started listening to his freaking calls. That dude's doing what I'm doing. And when I was off flirting with girls, he'd put in 10 more minutes than I did. And I was like, oh shit, man, he ended up beating me that month. just barely at the end. And man, I complimented that kid and I learned a lot from that. I was like, wow, we can get so much more through humility than we can arrogance. And it was just awesome. So, but anyway, yes, I'm like talking a lot, and there's a lot of stories or whatever. But yeah, I think it's really important that we believe in ourselves. And I think that we live in a society where titles, a lot of people need this black and white, and so it's easier for them to follow a title. Kind of like husbands and wives almost. I mean, honestly though, what is marriage? Honestly, you sign it, you go to the courthouse, right? Even if it's more like religious and things like that, marriage is symbolic. If you were not married to your wife, okay, let's say somebody ripped up the paper, would you cheat on her?
No.
Exactly, because it's your character. Do you need that title? Do you need
No.
the title of marriage to be a good man? Absolutely not. We have these things because most of us need something to remember, but at the end of the day, the highest level people that I've studied and I've read about, not to bring religion into it or anything, but the highest level people that I've put a lot of effort into and studied, same way, they didn't need titles. And being that you have like a hunting podcast, like my buddy Blake I was telling you about, man, he's not guiding anybody, right? He's not a hunting guide, but we were talking about titles and all this stuff. By himself, he'll take off. Go up into the damn mountains for 3 days. That's how confident he is. No titles, no nothing. He believes in himself. He's going to get it done. If you want to go with him, he'll let you go with him. But you see what I'm saying? I just love that mentality. I've always gravitated towards that shit. And then rejection kind of makes me happy. It just kind of fuels my fire a little bit, and I'm not put off by it. I don't usually take it personal. And then dumping the pins.
That's the confidence that you have too. Is it's like that rejection. It's like, okay, like it kind of lights a fire in you. Like, well, I'm going to show you.
Dude, some of my best friends have come after some form of rejection, and I don't know, man. I could talk about this for a long time.
Like you dumping my pencils out.
Oh yeah,
I didn't need it.
We had a fun time, bro. We didn't even talk for like 15 years. Then we just popped up out of nowhere, and it was like, dude, what's going on, bro?
Right back where we were. Yeah, it wasn't 15 years, but it was a long time.
It was a long time. I mean, we sent a couple texts and stuff.
Yeah, we text, we talk.
It was very random.
I remember the first time when we reconnected, you were traveling with a backpack full of cash.
Oh.
But hold on a second. I don't want to get into that right this second. But here's what I do want to talk about, okay? We've been talking about Strut Snacks. If people can order, you talked about what you're trying to do, and you've talked about you're wanting to donate the cash that comes in from that business to pay for Bo Diz's daughter's mission, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, like every penny of it too. I mean, this isn't some bullshit thing.
So I want you to explain what your Strut Snacks are, because they're in the, I would say they fall in the granola category,
I
right?
mean, here's the thing about them,
Hang
bro.
on a
They can
second. Let
be.
me finish. Let me finish
All right.
saying what I understand it to be. I've tried a lot of granola. There is nothing that compares to this. Like the texture, the taste, and you've kind of done it to a dough so people can now make it themselves to their own texture, whether they want to bake it and have it more crispy, if they want to have it a little bit more on the doughy side. So
Well,
if let me just, I'm trying to do you a favor, so just sit there, bite your tongue a second, okay? It is by far the best granola you will ever taste. And if you want to bake some up and you're going into the backwoods, or you're going on a hike, or you're going to your daughter's or son's soccer game or football game or basketball game, and you want something that's healthy and that is tasty, go to strutsnacks.com and place an order.
dude,
Okay. Now,
thank you.
I want you to explain your version of what Strut Snacks is. And I would
Yeah.
also like you to tell people, you talked a little bit about going and seeing stuff that wasn't healthy, but the recipes that you developed, like, dude, you put a lot of freaking work into those.
Yeah, actually, it took me years, bro, because you have to get the consistency right. I mean, anybody can make a product, right? You can go online and you can like research things, but 9 times out of 10, when you just go and like put something together, the consistency just blows, man. So anyway, at the end of the day, you can make it into granola, yes. And I don't know why I didn't think about this before, but a lot of the feedback I got mainly from the females. Some of the guys, they just like guys just like the taste no matter what. But a lot of the females were like, "Oh shit, I like the dough. I like the dough better." And it's like, being, well, why in the hell? Duh, they're having a rough day. If they're pissed off at their husbands and they just want to freaking go in their room and watch a damn chick flick, dude,
Okay.
cool. Grab the Strut Snacks.
Seth, tell people about the recipes and the flavors, because it is.
That's what I'm doing, bro. I'm bringing it in.
All right.
Man,
Okay.
you,
All right.
you got to let an artist create the damn picture, brother. You created a picture. You got to
Let
let
him
me
cook.
roll.
All right. I'm going to let you cook. I'm going to let you
So,
cook.
so at the end of the day, now, and I do need to change the labels up though, just so like everybody knows the labels right now. They just, some of the ingredients are a little bit off, but at the end of the day, what I'm saying is this: the feedback that I got is that the dough tastes better than when it's baked. Not everybody thinks that, but it was about a 70-30. With about 50 people, it was about a 70-30, roughly. So at the end of the day, essentially, all of the ingredients that are in it, you can leave it. I left mine out for 2 weeks, not even in the fridge, and it was still good. It doesn't have any eggs in it. So the dough can be left out and it'll just mold. It'll just meld. It'll meld together and it'll just taste really good. Or you can put it in the fridge. It'll last for like 3 months. But it's completely natural. It's got a couple of the key ingredients that it has in it that a lot of these other people don't have. It's got a little bit of cayenne pepper in it, which is good for your heart, and it's got some cinnamon in it, and that is good for your pancreas. That's good for diabetics, or I'm not a doctor, so don't. Anyway, but at the end of the day, cinnamon and cayenne are good for your heart and good for your pancreas. So, long story short, I just threw myself off track, bro. It's the ADHD. I was going.
Well, you were talking.
Bro, that's the squirrel nation right there, bro. But anyway, yes.
I can relate. So you were talking about like the cinnamon, the cayenne, and the different flavors, and things like that.
Yeah.
But you were talking about how it's you people can order the dough.
Well, yeah. Preferably, you're going to want to order the dough. And I just need to change the labels. I'll probably just change the website. Now that we're talking about it, I'm probably just going to at least put it on the website, what temperatures you can bake it at. And you can kind of just fiddle around with that on your own, too. That's the beautiful thing about this. Like some of the other doughs that are out there, and I won't name names because I don't know how many of them have doughs, but when you look in the ingredients, there's like sucralose and like all this other stuff. The other thing I was going to say is this is 100% no sugar. I only use stevia and monk fruit. And so at the end of the day, you can rest assured that, and even the honey and the organic maple syrup, like those are, they metabolize a lot slower than granulated sugar. So at the end of the day, yeah, in my humble opinion as well, and I'm not being biased, you said it also, and you're not just bullshit. You're not, especially with me, man, you got nothing to prove. You're going to come at me, we're buddies. If you didn't mean what you said, you wouldn't have said it. I really do think that there's so many versions of these that the Strut Snacks do taste better than any of the other stuff that you're going to buy in the store.
Well, let me just add to that. When you first had started working on this, you would come out and you would bake some up. You're like, you got to try this. And when you first came over, like Mel, Jackson, everyone was like, I mean, Doc made this. Do I really want to try it? And you're like, bro, it's amazing. You got to try it. And people kind of took like a little bite, right? Like we're just going to wade into this thing. Because a lot of like the kids in that, like Melanie's not like she doesn't love granola. But dude, you brought over this Tupperware bowl that was probably like that thick. I mean, it was full. There was a lot. It was more than you would get in like a bag that you would buy at the store. Dude, we ate half of it that night. And the next day I came home at lunch to have some and it was gone. And I'm like, Doc, I need another batch.
Dude, bro, did I have the dark chocolate in yours? I can't remember.
I don't think you did.
Was it raisins?
What?
Was it raisins? I can't remember. Because now I make it.
There was some raisins in it, yeah.
You haven't even had like the one now is more. It's more like a no bake cookie. I actually think you like the ones now. I kind of upgraded it from them.
You keep saying that, and you keep saying you're going to drop some off next time you come by. I mean, dude, I hate to call you out on here, but
no, you can't.
It is what it is. We're gonna crash your website here tomorrow.
Bro, you can like call me out on it. Honestly, it's just like bro, I'm
giving you a hard time. It's busy, but I am just to verify what you were saying. I'm not just saying it because you're a buddy. It is the best damn granola I've ever had in my entire life, like bar none, like not even close. And if people were to try it, whether they bake it themselves or do you even sell it like the baked anymore, or are you just selling the dough?
Just the dough.
So
if they want me to bake it, I'll do that. It's just
I'm sure they're capable.
Anybody can bake it, and so personally, I'd actually rather have them try the dough because if they like the dough, and I mean, I don't know, it takes me 2 seconds to bake it. Honestly, it's like 7 minutes, so it's not that big of a deal.
What is available to order is the dough. So this is not a paid endorsement. Seth didn't ask me to do this. I didn't tell him we were going to talk about Strut Snacks. I'm
going to have to call up Bo Diz after this conversation too, and just let her know, like she's got to figure out that shipping piece, bro. The thing about like that I'm noticing about this type of a business as well is the shipping. Like you get, I guess at the end of the day, when small amounts are ordered, the shipping still costs the same as larger amounts. I don't know if people know that, but it's pretty much the same when you do Shopify and stuff like that. And so I see why they give, you know how on Amazon it's like they'll give you $10 off when you buy more and stuff like that. And that was kind of one of the hangups that we had. And to your point, yeah, you can call me out as much as you want because man, I've been lackadaisical with this. And honestly, it's because of those damn little details. I'm a big picture guy. I like to take an idea and turn it into a reality. I like to say, hey, we're going to do this, bam, and then I delegate and get things going like along the way. But it's the little details, the boring details, kind of like the mundane things that will hang me up sometimes. That's not an excuse.
Let me just say this: if Bo Diz needs to hop on a call with Jackson, Jackson's figured out how to get some of the shipping stuff really dialed in. So,
are you serious?
Yeah. Yep. Jackson's running all of our e-commerce stuff, and he's done a ton of research into it. So, if you want her to jump on a call tomorrow with him, we'll get it set up, and he can at least share what he's discovered. And maybe it will help, maybe it won't. But I mean, I just know he's been doing a ton of research into that. So,
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, look at me. I'm here to help, brother. Here to help,
bro. Dude, when this thing is done,
I think this could. I think your granola could be huge. Once people start eating it, it's like me. I mean, I'm itching to get my hands on some again. So I didn't know the site was functional. So I'm gonna have to go get me some
You
ordered.
look at it right now if you want to. You just go to strutsnacks.com. Pull it up.
Well, I'm pulling it up. This is a first. I haven't.
I'm gonna pull it up right now too.
Oh yeah, it is live. There it is. Strut Snacks. There's you right there on the cover.
Really? Hold on, let's see.
Wait, you got chosen. I'm only seeing one on there.
Yeah, she just hasn't updated the pictures yet, bro. That's all.
Well, there's nothing else available except chosen.
I know she hasn't updated the other. She just had, like I said, it's fully functional and people can order, but it's just not.
It's just chosen. Chosen's the only one that's available.
Here, go to the about, bro. Look at that, dude. That's the houndstooth. Dr. Strut himself.
Yeah, buddy. Der Handelsloker in der Hunehause.
Oh, dude. Look at that smiley face down there. It's freaking makeshift, whatever, bro. Yeah.
Okay, well, people may have to bookmark it and come back, but you will start getting traffic tomorrow.
Essentially, dude, chosen though. I mean, just it doesn't really matter if it's not fully functional. Order the damn thing, get it freaking sent to you, and see if you like it. Seriously, at least you know you're doing it for a good cause, too.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
hey, when this is done, I gotta read you that book though. Just it only takes 4 minutes. I've timed it.
Do what?
The book. I need to read it to you. I don't want to forget.
I won't forget. We got to let everything upload, so we'll be here a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, you are Squirrel Nation, bro. I thought I used to be Squirrel Nation. You have taken over that title. So anyway, yes, you've got some other things that you're working on. We'll have to talk more about them. But again, the Strut Snacks, it is good. Like you said, it goes to a good cause. And Seth didn't know I was going to even bring it up, but since he started after I asked him about it, he started going into detail. We need to text Bodis and tell her get that site fully functional by 8 a.m. when this podcast goes live.
Bro, it's fully functional. It just doesn't have all the pictures on it. That's all.
Yeah, the other flavors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which one did I have? Journey?
You had Chosen. No, Chosen's the most popular one.
I didn't have Chosen. I had Journey. What was the
Really?
one? There was no peanut butter in it.
Oh, I think I know why. Because I just didn't have. I ran out of the most popular one. I ran out of the damn labels, so I was using other labels for yours. Because Chosen's the most popular one, bro. Hands down.
Is it? All right.
Oh, bro, that's why that
dude,
one's
false
on there.
advertising. You were giving me something that wasn't even accurate. Man, dude, you could get slammed with a lawsuit and they would shut you down before you even started selling anything.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway. So, okay, Seth. You grew up in Burley. You did some hunting when you were in your earlier years, like full circle here.
Grew up on a farm.
Grew up on a farm, dairy farm.
Mm-hmm.
I should have. I don't know why I didn't start calling you like the milkman a long time ago.
Don't you remember? Bulldog called me Farm Time. That was one of my first nicknames.
I called you Farm Time on here. Yeah, we start calling you Farm Time. But anyway, look, I appreciate you coming in clutch and jumping on a podcast with me. I mean, we've been talking about doing one for a while, but I caught him in the middle of his workout, and he was like, "Let's do it, bro." So a little bit different than the last text message that I sent you, where we were going to go. Anyway, we'll avoid that conversation. We were going to go hunt somebody down. But anyway, glad we didn't do that. You've been a good friend. Like you said, even though we've had times where it's been like years in between us talking. But I would just ask this with the background that we've talked about and what you're wanting to do. What's your message that you would just like to leave with our audience?
Oh man,
pressure, dude. It's pressure time now.
No, it's not pressure at all, bro. That's what I was saying. Like just trying to kind of pull it all together. Almost pretty much any conversation throughout the day with anyone, whether I'm button pushing, whether I'm not. But anytime I'm leading, anytime I'm communicating at this point in my life, it's about believing in ourselves. Like 100%. At the end of the day, I believe in you, and essentially I believe in myself also, and we can accomplish amazing things together. I'm not a greedy person, and I really, really think right now more than ever we need to unify. We all need to believe in ourselves. We need to learn how to disagree with each other and still accept each other. Man, who gives a shit if we disagree? We learn through disagreements, for hell's sakes. So, and then we don't take things personal if what? We believe in ourselves. If we're confident in ourselves, if we're confident in our path, male, female, whoever, at the end of the day, honestly, we won't take things personal. Our communication is going to be better, and we're all going to bring each other up, and we're going to soar to greater heights. So at the end of the day, I would end every single conversation with, do whatever it takes to believe in yourself. That doesn't mean be arrogant. It doesn't mean step on other people. It doesn't mean just follow somebody else's path. Believe in yourself, believe in ourselves, figure our path out, and stay humble along the way. If we do that, we're going to create really good friends. We're going to gravitate towards the people that we fit with, and we're going to all rise up together. And then when we cross paths with the other people that we don't fit with as well, we're going to high five across the way, and we're all going to see each other rising up together. So 100%, that's what I want to leave people with. Mother effing believe in ourselves. 100%. No bullshit, no cliche. 1,000%.
Love it, Doc. Appreciate it. You guys, hey, in the show notes, we'll put a link to strutsnacks.com. We'll link to Seth's Instagram page. Is it still Christmas something?
Yeah, if they want to follow me, watch some ice baths.
Okay. Anyway, Christmas _1979. But yeah, no, dude, I appreciate those words. Go give him a follow. Check out Strut Snacks. Again, not a paid endorsement, but it genuinely is like the best granola I've ever had in my entire life. So go over there, give him some support if you feel like doing so. And yeah, like Doc said, believe in yourself, guys. Stay safe and God bless.
Hey, brother. Hey, I'm going to call you.
Don't hang up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, my bad.